Hiking Keys Peak via Indian Cove on the Boy Scout Trail in Joshua Tree National Park. Trailhead parking is 16.5 miles east of the intersection of Highway 62 and Highway 247 on Indian Cove Road. Pick up the Boy Scout Trail there. The difficulty rating for the hike is moderate. The hike begins. From the roadside parking area, the hike heads out across a mostly flat desert plain. It continues before entering a wash. Dropping into the wash at about 1.5 miles. The hike passes near the base of Mount Mel. I will include Mount Mel on a future hike. Sliding through the sand. The trail occasionally diverts from the wash. In this instance, it ascends a grand desert staircase. Towering monoliths of boulders line the route. Passing through a narrow section. The wash continues. At 3 miles, the trail leaves the wash. The path elevates toward the plateau above. At 4 miles, the hike joins a wash coming down from the plateau. Finding an old watering trough along the way. Trail signs remind you of your progress. Finally, Keys Peak appears ahead. When starting to pass nearby the peak, I left the trail to head straight for it. I made my own route to the mountain. I approached cautiously and looked for the easiest route. When all easy options were used up, the boulder scramble began. Taking it slow to avoid scrapes, cuts, and snakes. After persistent climbing, the summit was in sight. What's a few more boulders to negotiate when the top was so close? Near the top, there was only one section with any notable exposure. And then, just like that, the top was near. The visible register on the boulder told me that I made it. On the summit of Keys Peak. The Summit 360. Elevation: 4,484 feet. The summit and register. The summit view toward Peak 4377 and Mount Mel. When ready, it was time to go back. I took a slightly different descent for variety's sake. It was about 50 yards to the south. Descending the boulders. Searching for a route of least resistance. In a way, it is tedious, but it is also fun, while testing your balance when squeezing past the boulders. The boulders started to thin out near the base of the peak. Before long, I was back to the floor of the plateau. I hopped back onto the Boy Scout trail and retraced my steps back to the start. Goodbye, Keys Peak. I managed my internal energy reserves to handle the 5 miles back down. Overlooking the canyon that I would descend through. Back to the lower wash once again. This left me about 2.5 miles to go. Mount Mel comes in view. Passing below Mount Mel. This was a good chance to add it to the hike for some, but I had plans to hike it on its own day. Descending to the last section of wash. After leaving the wash, there is over a mile to go. The parking lot appears ahead. Mission accomplished. This describes how to reach Keys Peak from the north. The Boy Scout Trail also reaches it from the south, but that requires paying a national park fee.